Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Welcome to Waffle Box.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
You ate birthday cake on the toilet?
Don't you?
But does it have a dildo and a bazooka being shot right at the camera?
No, it does not.
It sounds uncomfortable to me, and we're currently standing on the ground right now.
I might start using that as an insult. I might start calling people dumb dolphins.
Billiards is almost as old as craps and prostitution. What the fuck?
Oh, God. That's not where I thought it was going to go.
The stick you can use as a bat. You can play as a sword. You can just beat a fool with it. I think maybe the craziest thing I bought was like the Cheers box set.
And then suddenly she's having this conversation with this plank of wood, Judge 2x4, when she, instead of hitting the gavel, she just headbutts the desk. And that's final. Boom.
Whew, I for some reason know a lot about magic.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 32, we have the world's most vaccinated man, LAPD Pokemon hunters, and more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the one and only Kush Hayes. Kush! You okay, buddy?
Mike Fish, what's good, buddy?
I'm good. What's up? What's up?
As announced last week, I had a little scratch in my throat, which developed the next day into a 102-degree fever. And then, long story short, Kush caught the COVID.
Oh.
As you can see, it's a boy. And the worst is behind us now, but we have. Yeah, man, this is a eye-opening revelation. We always speculated that we may have had it once upon a time, but now we know that we currently do have it. And it's been 6 days now? 6 days, 7 days. 7 days because we're recording now.
Right, Friday you tested positive?
Tested positive Friday, but only because we didn't get the test till Friday. So
who knows when you had it?
I'm pretty sure I caught it New Year's Eve, as speculated.
Yeah, you should have gone out to that bar.
Shouldn't have gone to the bar. Wildly irresponsible of me, but whatever. It is what it is now. However, I'm slightly irritated more than I have been sick. So
lesson learned.
I guess for now.
People are bastards. Stay away from them.
Until we catch the next variant.
Well, no, the good news is we're already up to Omicron. And that's so like how many letters we got left? Soon we'll be done.
Well, I'm not really familiar with the Greek alphabet, so everyone thought this was going to be the Omega virus, but no, as you mentioned, it's the Omicron,
which is a anagram for moronic, which I love.
Ooh, is it?
Apparently, I haven't worked. Someone told me that, and it sounded about right. I haven't worked it out, but never mind. So yes, this week is the COVID special, which everyone's been waiting for since Kush has got COVID, bless him, and now he's putting his. There we go. Wait, we need sunglasses if we're going to get the Kush that we want. So this week, other than catching the vid, I guess you haven't really been doing much, have you? You've just been resting.
No, we missed out on Jessica Chastain's The 355 special international female super spy group, which apparently bombed at the box office. So we will not have a review for that as we had hoped for, and we will probably not have a review for Scream 5 next weekend either. Yeah, and no microdose this Friday. That's how deep this Omicron has affected us. So
the real victims. You don't hear about this on the mainstream news.
Productivity has been affected for sure, but at least we got a nice bed. We have plenty of Netflix. We caught up on some movies that we ain't seen before, and many seasons of Night Court we burned through. So
good stuff.
We got the best of Night Court too, thankfully. Seasons 4, 5, and 6. Those are the top-notch ones. That's when they found their perfect groove. And then something happened. Season 7, it just kind of spiraled into shit.
Who
So
would've
we're.
thunk?
What are you
I love
gonna
all
do?
that shit though. I love that kind of show. I could watch those for days. I had some good news yesterday.
What happened to you, buddy?
Well, actually, let's talk about my Tuesday. My Tuesday was a roller coaster of emotions.
Ooh.
So I am obviously located in the tri-state area in the northeast of the United States of these Americas, and it gets a little chilly in the winter around these parts.
It does.
So-
I do.
When trying to reference or measure temperature, you guys are very persistent about using the Fahrenheit scale.
hmm
I'm still, even after 5+ years, I can't work it out. I'm still working on Celsius. But to try to work it to your American listeners and viewers, I've now worked out that, 32 degrees is freezing point. That's
Yes.
what I would call 0. Okay. So
Which actually would make sense that you would call it 0 because it's nothing. It's frozen.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. Before we carry on, this
it.
is why I argue about Celsius being the best, because 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling. I can work out the scale now. Whereas 30, anyway, I'm not going to get into it because I'm not going to change.
I understand.
So Tuesday morning, I wake up, and as you always with my schedule is, I wake up, my alarm goes off, my dog hears my alarm, knows that means, hey, we're going outside so I can pee and all that, do that good stuff. So I go outside. Ooh, it's a little bit cold. I check my phone. It's on Fahrenheit. It was, with windshield mine, 1 degree.
Which is probably like negative 14.
I switched
20.
it over so I could immediately text my dad just to boast almost how cold it was. It was minus 17 degrees Celsius. It was brutal. And it's funny, as shameful as it is, and I know, good for you, you're now a non-smoker, but I am still a smoker. You could list off all of the health ramifications of smoking, the cost that it costs me to smoke. I don't care. I'm still doing it. The moment I walked outside, minus 17 degrees Celsius, I was like, you know what? I should really give up smoking so I could just stay at home all day.
Is it because it was just that cold, or was like it actually affecting your breathing while trying to have the cigarette?
No, it was just a cold.
It was just that cold.
Oh, it was.
I
would walk outside because I could wear gloves, but as I'm sure you can remember, wearing gloves and trying to light a cigarette, you have to take the gloves off to light the cigarette, and it's just so I didn't wear gloves, and it was literally within like a minute, my hands were starting to hurt. It's this is not fun at all. No. But anyway, fast forward a few hours, as everyone should know, I'm a New York Giants fan, and they've been a little bit, let's say, inconsistent over the last couple of years. But I found out Tuesday that the head coach, Joe Judge, has finally begun his marching orders. So next year, New York Giants are going to have a new GM, new head coach. Hopefully, we can actually win something in the next couple of years. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
I know the 49ers made the playoffs this weekend in their overtime defeat against the LA Rams. But
there was a lot of wild
Giants
games this Sunday. It was pretty interesting.
Did the Giants make the playoffs?
They did not. They ended up with the new extended season. So instead of 16 games, there were 17 games this season. The Giants ended 4-13.
That's bad.
It didn't help that our quarterback has been injured for half the season. So we've been like bouncing back between a second and third string quarterback, and they're terrible. But whatever. It is what it is. He's gone. They're both gone. So hopefully next year we'll at least see something to make me smile. You're not much into football, right? You're more of a baseball guy, right?
I'm very casual with all sports, honestly. So, I won't invest 3 hours of television watching for a football, basketball, or the 4 hours for baseball. But I can always just go to my girl Alexa here and say, "Hey, how'd the Giants do? And then she'd be like, the Giants are in first place and they beat the LA Dodgers. And I'd be like, yeah. And that's how I keep up with them. I watch the results the next day. There you go.
Very casual. I can't do that. I have to, even if we're terrible, I have
Super
to watch my
casual.
teams on TV for my sins. I think that's why I don't get into baseball and basketball, because that's just too much. There'd be too much on TV, and I can't be doing that.
I love my San Francisco Giants, but yeah, 9 innings at my age now is just a lot to watch. Fun as hell to play, but it's a lot to just sit there and just watch.
That's what I need. My only 2 baseball games that I've experienced, it's way more fun to go see it live than it is to watch it TV, because
absolutely,
you can just chat with your friends and drink and ignore the whole thing. I remember we're going way off tangent here, but I remember going to Citi Field to watch the New York Mets. Not a New York Mets fan, but it was a free ticket through work. And I stayed for the entire game. I may have watched 2 at-bats. The rest of it, I was just like chilling out, drinking. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
It was a free ticket.
It was a free ticket, and it had we had like a corporate section, so it was like open bar and everything. It was awesome.
Oh, there you go, man. You did it right. There you go.
We managed that 2 years in a row, and then COVID ruined it. So I've missed 2 years of free bar at a baseball game, but whatever. Anyway, shall we dive in, Kush, to tonight's stories?
Let's dig in.
Dive in. Let's say it's COVID special. No, we've got a couple of COVID-related stories which caught my eye. First of which is from our good friends down in Texas, in Houston. Shout out to my buddy Alex Middleton, co-host of the Clara and Big Blue podcast, and Pastor Gravy. Not shout out for this. He's not involved in this story. Don't want to, get him in trouble. So let's talk to Mr. Kush Hayes, since he's now, he's
in the COVID club.
He's in the COVID club. Let's just say, put you in the mindset. I'm going to put you into a scene. I want you to be an actor right now. I'm going to give you your motivation. And I want.
I'm in phase.
So here's the scene, right? So you're a parent, and your son is showing symptoms of being sick. So you give him an at-home rapid test, and that comes up positive.
Ooh, oh no. Not my baby.
What is your next move? Go.
Well, I think what we do is we get him, bundled up, jacket, maybe a scarf because it's still winter. We definitely got to put the mask on. And then I toss that little motherfucker in the trunk.
Yeah, you do. So this woman, who I love in the article, who is like, it basically says she used to be a teacher, which I'm sure she's not anymore. So
definitely not anymore.
Teacher, 41-year-old Sarah Beam. Her son tested positive at home for COVID-19. So what she thought, I'll take him to a test center to confirm this, but just in case, I don't want to catch the vid from that dirty little bastard. So she threw him in the trunk of the car and drove him to the test center. To which, obviously, when she got there, the person who's trying to administer the test was like, "Oh, is this test for you?" She was like, "No, it's for my son." You're the only one in the car. That's what you think. And pop the trunk. And the son's laying there in the trunk. And
as someone who has ridden in a trunk, and as someone who has made others ride in a trunk, I will tell you got to be very careful about that, because it's illegal.
It is illegal. And also it's pretty dangerous, because I did that once when...
That's why it's illegal. It's dangerous.
Coming home from the bar back in my English days, when there wasn't enough room in the car, I was like, I'll just get in the truck. And I just laid in there. She drove me home. And yeah, those speed bumps will get you. That wasn't fun. But yeah, so she placed the teenage son in the car boot, as the article says, which is from the BBC, but obviously it's a trunk over here, because she did not want to be infected for herself. The health workers told her that there would be no coronavirus test until the boy was allowed to sit in the back seat of the car. I think that's fair, you should be comfortable. Although maybe the test would be easier if you're laying down because they have to whack it up your nose. But what I love is that it says in the article, it says law enforcement conducted a full investigation resulting in the warrant for the arrest. What was the investigation? How deep did they have to go? The kid was in the trunk. She admitted he was in the trunk.
They can't just say we wrote up
witness.
the report. We gotta ask some questions. It's just procedure. It's just a formality.
I do have the quote from Sergeant Standifer. Apologize if you're listening and butchered your name there. He was quoted as saying, "I have never heard of someone being put in the trunk because they tested positive for anything." Why would you? That would be
not too many people are advertising that, Sergeant Stadenko.
Yeah. Well, on the contrary, I tested positive for chlamydia. First thing I did was get put in the trunk.
Put that in the opening credits. Oof.
New intro. So yeah, poor boy on 2 counts. So now he has to. One, he had COVID. 2, he had to spend, I don't know how long the journey was, to be fair, to the testing site. He had to lay in the trunk. Yeah. And now 3 is mum's probably going to be in jail for a little while. Probably not long.
At least
not
getting
long,
a stiff fine. Probably a stiff fine.
Maybe a bit of community service or something.
Definitely some community service. I don't think she sees any jail time on this. They're funny like that in Texas.
They are indeed.
So when we were going to do this, I honestly thought I would be the only one in this conversation who had ridden in a trunk. So knowing that you have also been a part of Trunk Club, I'm going to guess this kid has also taken a ride or 2 prior to this in the trunk.
It always says a teenager. So it doesn't say, so for all we know, he could be 13, he could be 19.
Yeah.
So,
and also I'm pretty sure it's legal over there to ride in the bed of a truck. So, I mean, I would say the bed of a truck is actually more dangerous than the trunk of a car.
I think secretly, maybe in a past life, I was like someone from the deep south, because whenever I see a truck drive past me with the bed of the truck, all I think of on a good, nice summer's day, I think turn that into a swimming pool. You could just lay in the back of your truck. That'd be awesome.
You'd have to seal the hatch of the truck. Yeah, it would be one or the other. You could either use it as a pool or a bed of a truck, because once you've turned it into a pool, there's no turning back, I imagine. No going back. No, sir.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. But I tell you what.
No. Let me confirm that for you. But you're okay.
If you do want to avoid contracting the vid, and it's not a bulletproof vest, but if you want to help either not contracting it or from getting really ill from the virus, perhaps you should consider getting vaccinated. To which our next story comes from the land of India, where one man took that advice incredibly serious. And he thought, you know what? If they say I need 2 vaccinations to be covered,
why not 8?
What if I get 12? How good will that be?
Why not 16?
So a man in India claims to have 11 COVID vaccination shots inside of him. Although once investigated, it was confirmed that they had evidence on file that he had at least 8. So this retired postman said the jabs had helped him to get rid of aches and pains and stay healthy. And he had claimed he had not suffered any adverse effects. He was on his way to get his 12th jab when he finally got caught. What a man. What a guy. Because I think this guy has discovered, he should be heralded. He should be rewarded, because apparently he has discovered a new use for the COVID vaccine. if you got some joint pain, a bit of back pain, get 8 jabs. Be good to go. Good as new.
Have you heard people's stories about getting their vaccinations? And let me elaborate on this. So, like, majority of the United States got that first shot, but then everybody heard that the second shot will put you on your ass for a couple days, and half of those people went like, "Yeah, I don't want to actually get sick from this fucking thing. So I've already got the first shot. It's 76% effective. I'm going to be fine. I don't need to get that second shot." And then what would happen is, despite the fact that they already had, because once you get that first shot, they automatically schedule you for your second shot. They don't they go like, so 30 days from now, can you do Monday or can you do Thursday? What would you, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock? What would you, anyway, most people just no show that second shot. And so many times I would hear is, I couldn't get an appointment to save my life, literally. But then I just happened to be at the CVS or the Walgreens or whatever pharmacy. And it was like the end of the day. And they're like, "Hey, bud, we got 4 vaxes left that no one showed up for. I got to throw them away. Do you want to get vaxxed?" And then someone would go, "Sure." And then they go, and they would finally get their vaxes that way. And that's the theory I thought was happening with this guy. He was just like, just taking the vaxes they're going to throw away. You know, what's the harm in that? But no. This guy went to extracurricular effort.
Very much so.
Shit. Break it down, Mike.
Because, yeah, so he traveled to many vaccination camps across. I'm not even going to attempt to offend anyone by trying
multiple
to pronunciate.
Kilometers away from where he started.
Yeah, so what he traveled over 62 miles to get one of his jabs. So this wasn't kind of like, "Oh, since I'm passing through and you have spare, sure, I'll take another one." This guy went literally out of his way to get as many vaccinations as possible, which is really weird because they said in the article that it seems that they have a pretty solid system in that, you know, once you are jabbed, they have to put you in the system. So basically, the whole country knows this person has had 1 jab, this person has 2 jabs. So they are very much concerned about like something odd's going on. Either there's a system error.
Well, I read that he was using other people's IDs.
What? So I don't. Have you done more research in this article? I haven't. I mean,
I read the article you sent me. I went top to bottom. Because again, I was expecting to hear like, I just went to the CVS at 5:55, and they were just like, "We're gonna throw 5 of these away, bro." Like, he's like, "I'll just take one," and it's like, well, it's the end of the night. I could do all this paperwork and punch into the system, or I could just fucking jab you for the 17th time.
So no,
that's what I got out of it.
The quote is they are flummoxed, which is a fantastic word, by the way. Flummoxed how this could happen. There seemed to be a portal failure happening. We are also trying to find out whether there was any negligence by people manning the vaccination centers, Mr. Shahi said. Public health expert, that person, told the BBC that the only way this can happen is if the vaccination data from the sites is uploaded on the portal after a long lag. But I still wonder, it was not detected after so many jabs over a long time. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, maybe you just kind of elaborating on that story in your own mind there. I'm pretty sure there's nothing in the story about him changing his name, but yeah, he's loving it.
I didn't say change his name. I said using someone else's ID.
Oh, maybe he did it. But I love the fact that he described himself, Mr. Mandal, said he had previously been a practicing quack.
I saw that too. Yes.
In his village before taking up a postman's job and quote unquote knew a thing about diseases, which is lovely. After taking her jabs, my body aches and pain disappeared. I used to have knee pain and walked with a stick. Now I don't. I feel fine. So isn't that at the end of the day, the magic of the COVID vaccine? Got some bad knees, get the vaccine. Aaron Rodgers, it will help your career. See? This is all looped it back to sports. Aaron Rodgers, everyone thinks he's towards the end of his career. Boom, get 8 vaccines. He'll get another couple of years out of himself. Lovely jubbly. What are you looking up? You trying to see what this is about? different
Yeah.
names.
Claims he received 11 doses. Told BBC that he traveled to camps more than 62 miles away to get the jabs. He used different identity cards to register at these sites.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he used different ID, like if different people. He just means he used different forms.
It literally
of ID.
means he used a different ID, Mike.
No, that could be use a driver's license once, and then the other time he used his library card. I don't know.
I would hope India is not taking library cards, but what again, people are people. So again, I'm positive this is like, bro, I'm supposed to be out of here in 5 minutes. I gotta all right, fine. Ahmad Kupri, boom, you're vaxxed, bam.
Library cards. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to him. I'm so glad that his knee pain and back pain.
He should be a hero to these pro-vaxxers. Like he's doing the job that even they don't want to do.
I've been vaccinated 3 times. My back still hurts like an idiot. Maybe I need 5 more.
Did you get your booster?
I did get my booster, yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm scheduled for mine in 10 days, but we'll see how that goes now.
I mean, everyone's different to everyone else, but I remember I was very worried at the time because like I had my first vaccine and it kind of like made me feel pretty shitty for about 12 to 18, like 3/4 of a day. And then the second one slapped me around the face for a good day and a half. I was like out of it. So like the third one, I was like, oh shit, like, oh God, what's going to happen? But I just felt a little bit weary for a couple of hours and then I was good to go. It was like nothing. Nice. So I was very happy about that. Because even though I wasn't actually sick, feeling sick wasn't fun. I got like a low-grade fever and all that, 9900. But whatever. It's all good now. It's all good now. Except for you, because you got coronavirus. So there you go. You get for being a party animal.
Hey, everyone's gonna get laid.
Indeed. And that's the story of Christmas. Anywho. Right, next story. Not COVID related. There we're going to go from, so we've gone from Texas to India, and then we're coming back to America. We're going all the way to LA, Los Angeles, baby.
Ooh, La La Land.
To Hollywood, California, where dreams are made. And so 2 LAPD officers were fired 5 years ago. Apparently the court papers only got released. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's
really? This didn't happen this weekend.
No, this happened in April 2017. But the court documents were only like released or something. But anyway, so
right.
2 police officers from the Los Angeles area were fired because rather than attend a robbery that was going on at a nearby Macy's, they basically were like, hey, we could go back up these guys because it's an armed robbery at Macy's. However, there's a pretty rare Pokemon in the other direction. And so they decided to play Pokemon Go and ignore the calls of backup, which is horrific, but also amazing at the same time.
It's funny in hindsight, but at the time, like, what the fuck, guys? What are you doing? What the hell? Did you ever get caught up in the Pokemon Go craze of 2017? Because now that you said 2017, this makes way more sense.
Yeah, I did. So the reason I got into it was because where I at the time I lived in Grays in Essex, but I worked in Romford in Essex, which involved a little bit of a train and then a bus. And so my 25-minute bus journey to work, I would just whip out the phone and I would like cheat basically by playing Pokemon Go on the phone. It'd be like, are you driving? Nope.
I did that on the bus as well.
So that's how it kind of, I just used it to pass the time on the bus. So I wouldn't say I got swept up into it, but yeah, I did have the app for quite some time. But yes, so basically what they were saying is like, this is all bullshit. Like, what the fuck we claim? We weren't. How dare you accuse us of playing Pokemon Go? This is a very specific charge. Like, again, you would have like, if you was playing Pokemon Go instead of doing your job, and you thought we can get away with this, but then you get accused of playing Pokemon Go instead of doing your job. Surely, the back of your head, you've got to be thinking, they must have something on us because that's a very specific thing to accuse me of. But they said no, we weren't doing anything. We weren't doing anything wrong. However, in-car camera footage revealed them discussing, "Hey, we've got this call coming in. Shall we go?" And then, quote, Officer Mitchell alerted Lozano that I'm going to do this. Snorlax just popped up 46th alignment. And the pair left in that direction to embark on a 20-minute gaming session. I love that phrase, gaming session and discussion. They could be heard talking about the successful capture of Snorlax, which apparently is a rare thing. I can't remember the Pokemon. Apparently it's a rare one you can get. And how difficult the battle with Togetic, another Pokemon anyway. The guys are going to be so jealous, Officer Mitchell said. I've watched so many police shows in my time. I had obviously had the wrong idea of what police officers were, because apparently all the boys at LAPD are going to be super jealous that we call a Snorlax. Who'd have thunk that's what goes on at police precinct? This is gonna like, what's the like Law and Order?
SVU. I mean, it's all Law and Order.
It's gonna change. It's gonna change that show forever. Now it's gonna be like playing Candy Crush on that show like for an hour. Both officers apparently denied gaming on duty, telling the investigating officer that this article. Both officers denied gaming on duty, telling the investigative detective, Officer Mitchell, there should be a comma there. That shouldn't be in anyway. Officer Mitchell had been reading aloud from a text group of other players bragging about their scores. He's still trying to go for it, but
I gotta tell you, Pokemon Go was a pretty interesting fad that summer of 2017, man. Like, I checked it out just to see what is going on here, because like you'd be on the bus, you'd be going along, and then you'd see someone just standing in a very random place looking at their phone, and you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're like, oh, they're playing Pokemon Go. Like, and it like wouldn't be on the corner, it would be just like off to the side or standing in front of someone's house. Like it was a place that people just don't just stand in front of and just surf their phone on. I found it very fascinating. I found it very interesting, but I also saw a lot of things. I saw people getting exercise. I saw groups of friends mingling with other groups while playing this game. I saw fathers bonding with their children. You know, like a lot of positives came out of this thing. I myself had a Pikachu nest under my office window at the time. So I don't know if you can see that. But
yeah, that's Pikachu.
That's Pikachu right, at a wedding at City Hall.
For those listening, Kush is showing me his phone of a picture of a wedding where Pikachu has crashed a wedding.
Pikachu was under my office window, and I engaged in battle. And you actually don't have to engage in battle. You can just keep them on your screen, and because again, it's artificial reality, AR, for those of you who are into that. And then you can just walk off to another location. And so I walked 4 stories up to the wedding chapel, and then I was like, oh yeah, we got to take this picture right here. And then I hashtagged it Love Wins and sent it to City Hall, and then they retweeted it.
Oh,
and somehow managed to keep my job during that whole thing.
Even better.
But the funniest Pokemon Go story I have is I went down to Fisherman's Wharf because I needed to catch some water Pokemon, and Fisherman's Wharf is by the water. Yeah. It was very interesting how the guys who programmed this, like it's if there's a land poke. Anyway, they had it all figured out. So I was by the water, picking up water Pokemon, taking a break at a bar, sucking on a cold beer, and all of a sudden this rare Pokemon shows up, Mike Fish. And I'm like, yo, it's a block and a half from here. I got 5 minutes to catch this motherfucker. I'm gonna do it. Got to the location. This son of a bitch ain't around here. And all of a sudden, I turn the AR system up and I have to climb a 5-story staircase because San Francisco is weird like that. Like,
San Francisco is the weird one in this story. Sure.
San Francisco is the weird one in this. Like, you'll walk a block and then all of a sudden, if you need to get to the next block, you have to climb a staircase. And so I did. And sure enough, I caught that son of a bitch with like 30 seconds to spare. But it was like, I was like, oh shit. I just had a beer and I smoke a lot of weed. Oh, Snorlax. There you go. And that's my Pokemon Go story.
Well, I'm glad there was a happy ending at the end of it. Not that kind of happy ending. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I even played Pokemon Go in Holland. That shit was wild.
I'm just trying to register for Pokemon Go again. See if there's anything around here where I live. Do you know
I
what?
understand they've reformatted the game so that you actually don't have to go anywhere now because of the COVID. And
I mean, that makes sense.
Kind of shitty. But yes, also had a lot of weird experiences where I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the lake and I'm gonna see what I can get over here. Oh hey, it's nighttime. Oh hey, there's no real lights on. Oh hey, I'm a very large and imposing person, so now I'm scaring these other people playing Pokemon Go. This kind of sucks because they don't know I'm playing Pokemon Go. They're like, why is this giant man just standing here at the edge of this lake looking at his phone? He might be here to kill us. We should walk away now. That's how that went down.
Nah, sad play. It went down for a lot of people. But yeah, going back to this story though, my favorite part of it is though that so another officer, Captain Davenport, who also heard the call, could see the shop and another police car parked in a nearby alley. The court documents show those nearby officers did not respond to the call, so Captain Davenport did so himself and saw the other police car reverse down the alley and leave the area. So these guys were obviously close, and they were like, fuck this. I've got a Snorlax to catch. But, I mean, hey, swings and roundabouts. They caught the Snorlax, so good for them, but they lost their job. So, wow. That's that. All right. On that note, let's mark the time. Because it's now time to move on to our next segment. Our favorite segment. It's time for Kush's movie review, which this week is not a movie, but it's a TV show that's based off a movie. It's Kush is not quite a movie based on a movie review. This week we have to return. Everyone's excited. Season 4, Netflix, baby. The return of Cobra Kai.
Man, I wish we had done this review last week. I was hoping to hold out for a Kush and Kai episode that many of the fans were clamoring for, but I don't think that's happening. So this might as well be the place to do it, and time is of the essence. Cobra Kai 4, dude. This is a return to the Cobra Kai series that we were longing for. That first season, I didn't want anything to do with, but once I did eventually watch it, I was like, all right, I get why people like this. This is entertaining. This is the nostalgia points are there. Everything's kind of in the gray zone. Good stuff. And because I'd slept on it so long, I got to go right into season 2, and I was like, yeah, this is equally enjoyable. Waited the next year for season 3, and that's when things got very cartoony. It felt very, very ABC Family, very Nick Jr. It felt like this is more for the kids now. This isn't for the fans of the Karate Kid. This is they're trying to hone in on that younger demographic, and why shouldn't they? why shouldn't they? But it doesn't appeal to me. So I was kind of not looking forward to season 4. However, season 4 is way better. You got focus on the tournament. You've got a lot of fantastic arcs that evolve and close at the same time. Main characters actually have more of a proper, again, focus, and balance is all about what this series is. And much like the expanded universe of Star Wars, before everything got Disney-fied, before we even had the prequels, there was a story where Luke Skywalker, after Return of the Jedi, joins the Sith in an effort to fully understand the Force. You can't understand the good side without understanding the bad side either. And once you master both, then you'll be a full master Jedi, right? That's the theory, at least. And we got a lot of that this year. So a lot of it is, hey, Cobra Kai is a thing, but Miyagi-Do is also a thing. So maybe I'm going to teach you some Miyagi-Do and you're going to teach me some Cobra Kai. And then Eagle Fang is just a silly shit thing anyways. But that's also a thing. So it's a lot of just, I'm going to borrow from this style. I'm going to borrow from that style. I'm going to learn from this. Overall, much better focused story. We in the spirit of reunions and cameos, Terry Silver, Mike, I don't remember if you're familiar with that character, but he's
I saw his face.
Main bad guy from Karate Kid 3. He's the guy that Kreese enlists to help take down a high school student in this under 18 All Valley karate competition.
I might not have ever seen that movie, actually.
It's not a good movie. It was not a good movie. However, season 4 of Cobra Kai does redeem it. Like it goes to where that movie was afraid to go to in 1989. Turns out Terry Silver, not only was he just a wealthy megalomaniac who was dumping toxic waste in the Everglades, but he was also a raving cokehead and admits to that freely, as well as dealing with his PTSD from the Vietnam War and this and that and the other. And Terry Silver is a fantastic bad guy. He is much better in this than he was in Karate Kid Part 3 all those years ago. All your favorites are there. The Johnny Lawrence's kid gets way more screen time than he did last season. For some reason, that dude was in the season less than 7 minutes. This time he's got a way bigger arc. We get some new characters. We get some return guests from Cobra Kai seasons past. And I think this was a much better attempt at the Cobra Kai series. In theory, we have one more season left, but I could see them trying to drag this out as long as they want to try and drag it out.
they have the option of doing Karate Kid Multiverse of Madness and having Will Smith's son turn up.
There's the Will Smith movie. There's also the next Karate Kid, the one in between Karate Kid 3 and the Will Smith Karate Kid, the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, the Jackie Chan Karate Kid, whatever we want to call it. God damn it, what was her name? Chicken $1 Million Baby. Swank? Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank was in the next Karate Kid with Pat Morita.
See, if they could bring them all in, it'd be amazing.
They could. Will it happen? I don't know. Hilary Swank's kind of a hard get. It's one thing to get.
What is she up to? What's Hilary Swank doing?
Hilary Swank is, I don't know, doing some probably some indie-rific film. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. What is Hilary Swank doing?
What is
maybe
Hilary
a Netflix series
Swank
already?
doing? Hashtag
I don't think she needs to work anymore. If that's the question.
HSD. Answer that.
That's a mouthful, but
the wristband. What is Hilary Swank doing?
Yeah, like I said, the events pick up from the last season, and it's a very quick 10 episodes. Each episode, except for the season finale, they are all a half hour, except for the season finale, which is 45 minutes. But all the focus is this new tournament. So The choreography is much better. The fights are pretty fantastic. Mrs. LaRusso, Daniel San's wife, finally actually has something to do after 4 seasons. She's usually just there to go, geez, Daniel, I wish you would focus more on your car business. She's actually got like motivation and a full-on arc herself. And we actually get to know her a little bit better. The LaRusso daughter consistently still sucks.
Wow.
That
Whatever,
shouldn't
judge.
be a critique on the actress, but
Whatever
her
she wants to
character
do.
fucking sucks. Fan favorite Miguel. He's pulled. I believe his stock is actually pulled down because he's dating her, and it's just like, man, like you're supposed to be the hero of our story, and you're looking like a tool because you're hanging out with this chick, bro. Like you gotta get your game, Miguel. Like knock this shit off. This chick's no good for you. Otherwise, yeah, man, everyone does a very good job. What else do I want to say? I would absolutely recommend Cobra Kai season 4. I immediately wanted to see season 5 after it was done. It's a very quick burn. Again, 10 half-hour episodes. I've seen it twice now. It's nothing. You know, have fun with it. Makes me want to see Karate Kid Part 3 again. Maybe with some riff tracks attached to it. That's always a good time. But yeah. Mike, are you familiar with any of the Cobra Kai series?
I have watched the first season, and then I started watching the second season, and then I can't remember why, but I just stopped watching. So I think when I do eventually go back to it, I'm gonna have to start season 2 all over again because I had a problem I had with the similar problem I had with the Mandalorian, where for whatever reason I just stopped watching 2 episodes left, and then I went back into it, watched the last 2 episodes, and it was one of those. Like, I got it all in the end, but do you know how sometimes where you'll be watching something like that? I don't know, probably not you because you probably knock them all out in one go. But where I return to something midway through the season, and throughout the first episode that I'm watching back again, I'm trying to take in everything that's happened, while the other half of my brain is trying to work out what the fuck happened before this. How did this work? And then it eventually clicks, and you're like, okay, I'm back in now.
I've only had that problem. The latest example was the newest season of Heroes they did, which was probably 10 years ago now.
Probably more than that, to be fair.
They did season 4 of Heroes on NBC. It was a return after so many years off in between seasons. They brought it back, and it was only going to be 10 episodes long. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, you could less is more. Let's just quality over quantity. And they did the first 8 episodes, and then they decided to take a holiday hiatus. So they took 6 weeks off and then returned us back to episodes 9 and 10. And I was just like, I don't even remember what happened. And I sure as hell don't want to go back, because this has not been the best season ever. But yeah, like they set that whole series up for failure. So I understand what you're saying, but that's the most recent example of that happening to me.
Heroes.
Yes, season 2 I think has the best of Cobra Kai. I think season 2 has the best cliffhanger, where like real world consequences happen. You're like, oh shit, like these are kids just scrapping hard, and like, oh, I don't want to spoil it for you, Mike, but I was just like, oh shit, they actually did that? No, is he gonna live? Holy shit, what the fuck?
He OD'd and crack.
FYI, he does live. But like, again, there's
I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but he dies.
That's
But
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But speaking of heroes, that has got to be the greatest example of a fall from grace. I remember season 1 of Heroes being incredible, and then the second season was so bad.
The second season, unfortunately, got affected by a writer's strike. So they I think they came out with like 8 episodes.
Even still,
maybe 11 episodes.
Judging on a curve, compared to the first season, the second one was so bad.
Yeah, but it was incomplete.
So bad.
It was so incomplete. And then they were just like, reboot it for season 3. and you're just like, this is definitely garbage. And there was a thing with a circus and circus freaks, and
But I tell you what, that is going to be one of those. That's going to be one of those shows that eventually, like when it gets, I don't know if it is available to stream anywhere, but once it eventually kind of starts re-showing and re-airing
Peacock
in like another 10 years or so, that's going to be one of those shows where people discover heroes, and they're going to be like, oh shit, that guy was in here. This I know him from other because there was a lot of people that you didn't really know of at the time who became pretty big names in the world of television.
Yeah, the guy who played Siler would end up going on to play Spock in the new Star Trek movies.
He was my favorite. Peter Petrelli,
he was great.
Who became
Rocky Balboa's son.
And obviously, This Is Us, very big in that. That's a big thing.
I hear a lot about This Is Us. I've also heard that his character dies in the second season, but then is still around for like seasons 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, I've never really watched it, so I could be totally wrong. But as far as I'm aware, he's dead the whole time. But it's all flashbacks, but I could be wrong. I could be totally fucking up.
No, I think you're again. I've not seen any of that series.
Because I think he's dead the whole time, and they're flashing back. But I think what people get confused by, I think it's either at the end of the first or second season that you find out finally how he died. But from the very start, he is dead. But he's always in it. If that makes sense.
Okay. Dig it. Yeah, it's a show told on flashbacks, which would probably drive me crazy, honestly.
It's like Memento.
That first season of Heroes, outside of Nikki's story arc, that's a fantastic 22 episodes, man. Like I love that first season, and then it just regardless of what asterisks are attached to it, that shit went to hell.
I remember. So, what did she end up being? I'm trying to find out the cast.
Ali Larder. So, Ali Larder is originally the chick from Varsity Blues.
No, who else was it? I'm trying to think of.
Oh, I mean, no,
Hayden.
Oh yeah, Save the Cheerleader. She's mostly known for just being married to one of that Russian boxer who has a brother who's also a Russian boxer.
But I remember being, let me see where it is. So Heroes, yeah. So the first season came out 2006, so 15 years ago. I remember being a young man and because obviously she had like healing powers or some shit.
Yes.
And I remember that there was one scene, I can't remember if it was in season 1 or season 2, but she was in a burning house. And she just got
season 1
burnt to the core. And you see her walking out of the house, and you can see her regenerating. But then she regenerated with clothes on.
Yes.
And I remember wait, what the fuck? Sorry, shouldn't she technically be naked? What the fuck?
Yeah, she's a teenager and it's NBC. So I hear what you're saying. But I mean, if you can excuse Gwyneth Paltrow in Iron Man 3 for keeping her sports bra on when she's on fire, you'll excuse this one. So,
MCU can do no wrong or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, Cobra Kai. Speaking of TV shows that are available, so coming soon. Not anytime, like super soon in like not the next couple of weeks, but just going to give you guys a heads up, the watchers and the listeners, the Syrup Squad. We're going to be soon launching a couple of new shows on the same feed, so you don't worry, you haven't got to subscribe to anywhere else, you haven't got to follow anywhere. But one of the shows we are going to be doing is called Waffle and Chill, where we're going to be watching, like, just reviewing entire seasons of shows. It's going to be a monthly show coming up on the Waffle Box feed. Eventually, what we're going to do, I think we're going to be launching with the Book of Boba Fett. Once that all wraps up on Disney Plus. Why are you saying okay? As if you're learning about this.
It's going to be like
you were the one
less
that
than 8
suggested
episodes.
it. You suggested it, and now you're kind of throwing me under the bus by making like Oh, okay. We're doing that, are we? Yeah, I'm on to you, Kush Hayes.
My name's Kush Hayes. I smoke weed. I don't remember every conversation we have.
Anyway, yes. So look at that. So there's a couple of episodes. They're just dropping episode 3 as of recording this. So yeah, look out for that in the next month or so. The launch of that, and then also going to do something fun called Watch Along or Watch with Waffle Box. It's gonna be it's a weird one, but it's like, hey, we're going to do one movie every month where we're going to just literally watch it and talk about it. And then you can watch that movie and listen to us. So you can kind of like as if you're hanging out with us. So it's going to be cool. More information, obviously, the closer that we come to releasing those. But yeah, more content coming out on the Waffle Box feed, which is pretty fun.
I don't know what we're going to start with, but I'm very excited about that because that's been a thing I've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm glad you're behind this, Mike. I'm glad you're the one who suggested this. But yeah, I cannot wait to start doing our own riff tracks. We're not necessarily going to be riffing on anything, but hey, you want to watch a movie with us, guys? This is the time to do it. We're going to get you synced up and everything. It's going to be a good time, and we're going to pick some good movies. I promise you.
But obviously, that one won't be available on the YouTube channel. That's going to be audio only version. That one.
Yeah, that's how it has to go down.
So we have to listen. You have to stick us in one ear and listen to the movie. It's going to be great. So we're going to end this week's episode on our high note of the week, our heartwarming story of the week. To which I am then, because now I'm a few beers deep, I am going to destroy in my sarcastic British wit. So headline, Aussie UK couple marry in Buckinghamshire after 20 months apart. Aww. A long-distance couple who spent 20 months apart due to COVID travel rules have finally got married. Australian Chris Quealy, 72, was given dispensation to leave Australia after he proposed to Penny Stevens, 69, giggity, from Amersham over Zoom in 2020. The couple were finally reunited at Heathrow Airport, which is the worst airport ever, because even once you get off the plane, it feels like a 5-mile walk to immigration. It's horrible. I hate going back to England just because of that. In October, where their wedding took place in Buckinghamshire on Saturday, Mrs. Quealy said it was... This is okay. So, get into the scene right again. So these people, they obviously loved each other, had this long distance relationship because of COVID. They couldn't be together 20 months apart. They said in this, they would like speak on the phone twice a day. They loved each other. They wanted to be together and they couldn't because of this COVID. Oh my God. And so when they finally got reunited 20 months later at the airport, how did Mrs. Quealy, the woman who's stereotypically, women are more romantic, more in their feelings than men. So, oh my God, what did this woman say to describe the moment these people were reunited after 20 months? The man she loves. She said it was brilliant.
Oh, was that all she said?
That's all she said. It was brilliant.
Brilliant. Oh, geez. This is wicked fucking rad, you cocksucker. I couldn't wait for you to get over here, you stupid asshole.
And even better
impression.
So
I just
obviously,
watched The Town last night.
After speaking with the woman who claimed it was brilliant, they was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, we're not getting much from her. Let's go to the guy, Mr. Quealy. What do you think?" And he said, "Quote: We are now man and wife." Very matter of fact. Yes. Yeah, we know that. That's why we're doing the fucking story on you, pal. Fucking hell. Yeah, so the wedding was live streamed for Chris's family in Australia who weren't able to travel. All the family got to see it, and that's the main thing. Penny said, of course, her name's Penny. I don't know what that means, but Penny. Month before, Penny met grandfather Chris, who is from the Gold Coast, in May 2015 during a solo trip to walk the Camino de Santiago in Spain. It's a very international relationship, this is. The couple regularly traveled 10,000 or so miles. The person who wrote this article couldn't even bother to go to Google Maps and find out the exact distance between the two. 10,000 or so miles.
Or so.
Give or take. Between their homes, with Penny returning to Amersham. I keep wanting to say Amsterdam. Amersham from her last visit to Australia on the 3rd of February 2020. Chris was supposed to follow, but lockdown hit in March. All right, so this is where I'm going to start calling bullshit on this, or like this guy. It's like, fucking hell, I'm going to get married to this. Jesus Christ. Like, because
Yeah, I was telling you, man. He used this as his escape plan. Escape from Australia. John Carpenter.
No. This is why I think this is. I think you said he was trying to escape from Australia. I'm thinking he wants to stay in Australia as long as possible. He doesn't want to marry Penny, because she returned from Australia to England on the 3rd of February 2020. Chris was supposed to follow, but lockdown hit in March, a month later. So he's kind of like, no, just got to pack up the last couple of bits. Just got to wait for my laundry to dry. He's just dragging this out. And then finally, Jesus Christ, he's so happy that COVID hits. Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Oh, I'd love to come over, but I'm stuck here now. COVID, Oh, Jesus. He doesn't give a shit. And then finally, the Australian government fucks his plan up by saying, hey, no, you're getting married? You can go. He's like, oh, fuck. Now I have to go marry this stupid bitch.
I think after 20 months of lockdown, he was happy to go anywhere else. And that means even into the chapel to get married to Penny. Like, who gets married at 70? Honestly, like, we got minutes left on this. What's the point?
If I was single at 70, I would. Nah, I'm good. I'll just get a dog.
Well, Mike, you've been in a long distance relationship, right?
I have indeed.
Well, how long was that long distance relationship till it finally became a local relationship?
2.5 years.
Okay, yeah, so that's about the same.
About the same, yeah.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I didn't do this. I couldn't do this. This would have blown my mind. Where they said Penny said it has been very tough for the couple who have been having twice daily phone conversations. Right? No, let's knock that out in one. Like if we've spoken on the phone and then we hang up on each other and then you phone me back like an hour later, like what? What do you want? What has changed? What new information?
Once in the morning, hey, how'd you sleep? And then once before you go, hey, I hope you sleep well. Good night.
Maybe.
Love you. Hugs and kisses.
But the time difference must have been a fucking abysmal, because what is it from between England and Australia? It's something like 12, 13, 14 hours. It all kind of fucks up.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's 9 hours between San Francisco and London. So I can't imagine it being 12 hours between London and Australia, even with the international timeline.
Right, here we go. So let's go. This is Australia. Let's go time in Melbourne. So the time in Melbourne, this is like we're really going behind. So now you're going to know exact time we recorded this. So it's 2:17 p.m. GMT plus 11. Okay, so it's 11 hours ahead of UK time.
11 hours. Okay, interesting.
So it's like as she's because they're old, so they they sleep a lot. So it's like she's waking up, he's going to bed. So I guess that makes sense. Like, hey, good morning, good night, good morning.
And they're old, so that texting isn't an issue. Like in my long distance relationship, text all day. In fact, it was weird. Like when we would get paper bills from Sprint, now T-Mobile, when my long distance relationship finally ended, like I saw the difference in texts. So it went from like 5,000 texts a month to 75. It's like,
See, I didn't get that because we did WhatsApp, because that was like before, like when we first got together, iMessage wasn't a thing. So it was either spend a lot of money on text messages internationally, or we found WhatsApp.
Oh no, you get the unlimited plan, dude. It's $10.
Still
have that shit.
So what you're trying to say is that you are familiar with all of the phone plans that were available in the UK 10 years ago. Is that what you're saying? I'm
talking about the United I'm talking about United States plans, sir. I don't know anything about your United Kingdom.
Neither do I anymore. They're a mess.
Oh, mwah, 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 mwah.
But yeah, so Mr. and Mrs. Chris Queeley.
Good for you guys.
Good for you.
Like,
Congratulations.
My
on finally
relationship
getting
didn't
married.
last 60 days into the COVID. So good for you guys.
In sarcasm, yeah. Good for you, you bastards.
Well,
Just
if you got
rub
married
your
against
love
his
in
own
my
will, then
face.
yes.
Well,
But if this
I'm
is
sitting here with COVID. Ah. Oh, we shouldn't. They're just bragging, these fucking 70-year-olds, bragging at you. It's like, hey, we're married and we can breathe. You've got neither one of them. You single COVID having motherfucker. That's what they calling you. Penny Queeley. She's savage. She don't give a fuck. Anyways. So, I guess we got a quick end to this week because, already spoiler alert, we got nothing to promote on Bosnet this week.
Nothing to really promote. I'm going to say go back into the Kush and Kai archives and check out James Caan's Rollerball. That shit is fucking dope. And we have a good time talking about it, however long ago we talked about it. That's my plug for this week.
And for me, yeah, nothing really yet. Although, if you are a football fan and you want to hear the celebrations of the New York Giants fan Joe Judge being fired, check out my other podcast, the Claret and Big Blue podcast at cbbpod.com, where we celebrate that. It's live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Pacific time if you are in California. But yeah, check me out, Mr. Mike Fish on Twitter and Instagram. Here's Kush_Hayes on Twitter, and I think what's your Instagram? You haven't got an Instagram, right? Is it Bosnet?
We got a bunch of Instagrams, but Bosnet
Whatever.
brand.
Just go to
Bosnet brand on Instagram.
The only main things you need to know about is make sure you go to enjoywafflebox.com or bosnet.family for all the links, all the history, all the archives of all the fun stuff you can have. But until next week when we come back, make sure, God willing, we come back next week. We're all okay. Anyway, take care of yourselves and each other.